Machiavelli. Silent rules. What if the most important rules in life are never spoken? What if the people who win are simply the ones who understand what others do not? In a world that tells you to be honest, kind, and fair, there exists another set of rules. Rules that are quiet, invisible, unspoken. These are the silent rules, and no one understood them better than Niccolò Machiavelli. He did not write about how the world should work. He wrote about how it actually works. A world where people are driven by self-interest, where loyalty is temporary, where trust can disappear the moment it is no longer useful. The first silent rule is this: people are not who they say they are. They present themselves as loyal, honest, and supportive. But when circumstances change, so do they. A person may stand with you today and walk away from you tomorrow, not because they are evil, but because they are human, and humans protect their own interests first. If you fail to understand this, you will trust to is, and blind trust is one of the fastest ways to lose control. The second silent rule: perception matters more than reality. You might be intelligent, capable, even powerful, but if people do not see it, it does not exist in their eyes. People judge quickly. They believe what is visible. They follow what looks strong. This is why appearance becomes a weapon. A calm face in chaos creates authority. A confident tone creates belief. A controlled image creates influence. You do not need to reveal everything. In fact, the less people know, the more they assume, and assumptions can be controlled. The third silent rule: not everyone deserves the truth. We are taught that honesty is always the right path, but Machiavelli saw the danger in that, because truth in the wrong moment can be used against you. A smart person knows when to speak and when to remain silent. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. When you speak less, people reveal more. When you stay quiet, you observe what others miss. And information is one of the most valuable advantages you can have. The fourth silent rule: fear is stronger than attachment. People may like you, they may respect you, they may even admire you, but when pressure comes, emotions change. Fear, however, creates boundaries. It makes people think before they act. It creates distance and control. This does not mean becoming cruel. It means understanding balance, because too much kindness invites exploitation, but controlled strength creates respect. The fifth silent rule: adapt or be replaced. The world is always changing. Situations shift. People evolve. Opportunities disappear. If you stay the same, you fall behind. Machiavelli believed that the strongest individuals are not the ones who resist change, but the ones who move with it. Sometimes you must be patient, sometimes aggressive, sometimes invisible, and sometimes you must do what others are too. Because in the end, the world is not controlled by those who speak the loudest, but by those who understand the silent rules. The hidden game. What if life is not as simple as it looks? What if, behind every conversation, every decision, every opportunity, there is a deeper game being played? Not a game of luck, but a game of awareness. A game where most people move blindly, and only a few truly see. This is the hidden game. And thinkers like Niccolò Machiavelli understood one thing clearly: people rarely say what they truly mean, and rarely mean what they say. The first rule of the hidden game: people respond to incentives, not words. You can ask for loyalty. You can expect honesty. You can hope for fairness. But in the end, people follow what benefits them. If staying helps them, they stay. If leaving helps them, they leave. It is not personal. It is human nature. Once you understand this, you stop relying on promises and start observing patterns. The second rule: power is often invisible. It is not always the loudest voice or the most obvious leader. Sometimes it is the quiet person who influences decisions without being seen. The one who listens more than they speak. The one who knows when to step in and when to step back. Real power does not need to announce itself. It operates quietly, but changes everything. The third rule: timing is everything. The right move at the wrong time fails. The wrong move at the right time can succeed. Most people focus on what to do, but very few focus on when to do it. Patience is not waiting without purpose. It is waiting with awareness, learning, preparing, and then acting when the moment is right, because one well-timed decision can outweigh years of effort. The fourth rule: people believe what feels right, not what is right. Logic is powerful, but emotion is persuasive. You can present facts, but if they do not connect emotionally, they are ignored. This is why influence is not just about truth. It is about delivery. How you say something often matters more than what you say. The fifth rule: scarcity creates value. When something is always available, it loses importance. When something is limited, it gains attention. This applies to time, to presence, to opportunity. If you are everywhere, you become ordinary. If you are selective, you become valuable. The sixth rule: information is leverage. The more you know, the more options you have. The less others know about you, the stronger your position becomes. This is why listening is more powerful than speaking, because every conversation is an opportunity to learn something, and every piece of information can shift the balance. The final rule: most people never realize the game exists. They move through life reacting, trusting too quickly, speaking too freely, and wondering why things do not go their way. But those who see the hidden game move differently. They observe before acting, they think before speaking, they adapt before resisting. They understand that life is not just about effort, but about awareness. So the real question is, are you playing the game without knowing it? Or are you finally starting to see it? Power and silence. What if power does not come from what you say, but from what you choose not to say? What if the strongest people in the room are not the loudest, but the ones who understand everything without revealing anything? In a world full of noise, opinions, and constant expression, there exists a different kind of strength: quiet control. And this is something Niccolò Machiavelli understood deeply. He observed that people are predictable, but only if you stop listening to their words and start watching their actions, because words are easy, but behavior tells the truth. The first hidden rule: people reveal themselves over time. No one shows their full nature immediately. They wear masks, they play roles, they adjust, depending on who is watching. But time removes all masks. Pressure reveals character. Success reveals ego. Failure reveals truth. If you are patient, you will see who people really are. And once you see clearly, you stop being surprised. The second hidden rule: control your reactions. Most people react instantly. They get angry quickly. They speak without thinking. They show exactly how they feel. And in doing so, they give away their power. Because the moment someone can predict your reaction, they can control you. But when you stay calm, when you pause, when you choose your response instead of reacting, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability creates power. The third hidden rule: attention is a currency. Where people focus, they invest energy. Where they invest energy, they create value. If you can control attention, you can control outcomes. This is why some people speak less, but when they do, everyone listens. It is not about saying more. It is about saying less, but making it matter. Silence builds weight. The fourth hidden rule: distance creates respect. When you are always available, always agreeing, always present, people stop valuing you. Familiarity reduces importance. But when you create space, when you are selective, when you are not easily accessible, your presence becomes valuable. People respect what they cannot easily have. This is not about isolation. It is about positioning. The fifth hidden rule: for emotions are tools, not guides. Most people let emotions lead them. Anger makes them act. Fear makes them retreat. Excitement makes them careless. But emotions are temporary, and decisions based on them are often permanent. A controlled mind observes emotion, but does not obey it. It uses emotion when necessary, and ignores it when it becomes a weakness. This is discipline, and discipline creates advantage. The sixth hidden rule: not every battle is worth fighting. Some arguments are distractions. Some conflicts are traps. Some situations are designed to pull you down. Winning is not about fighting everything. It is about choosing what matters. Sometimes walking away is not weakness. It is strategy, because energy saved is power preserved, and power preserved can be used when it truly matters. The final hidden rule: the game is always being played, even. What if the biggest advantage in life is not talent, not luck, but awareness? What if the difference between those who struggle and those who rise comes down to what they notice and what they ignore? In a world full of distractions, noise, and constant movement, there exists a quiet edge, an unseen advantage, and observers like Niccolò Machiavelli understood this deeply. People rarely lose because they lack ability. They lose because they fail to see what is happening around them. The first rule of the unseen advantage: clarity beats intelligence. You can be smart, but confused. You can be talented, but unfocused, and none of it will matter. Because without clarity, every decision becomes uncertain. But when you see things clearly, when you understand people's situations and timing, your actions become precise, and precision creates results. The second rule: energy is limited. Most people waste it on the wrong people, the wrong problems, the wrong distractions. They react to everything. They try to do everything, and in the end, they accomplish very little. But those with awareness protect their energy. They choose carefully. They focus deeply. They ignore what does not matter, because what you give your energy to eventually shapes your life. The third rule: silence reveals more than questions. When you constantly speak, you control nothing. But when you step back, when you allow space, people fill that silence. They explain more than they should. They reveal more than they intend. And in that moment, you gain insight. Not by forcing it, but by allowing it. The fourth rule: confidence is observed, not declared. Anyone can say they are confident. Anyone can try to appear strong. But real confidence is quiet. It shows in posture, in tone, in patience. It is seen in how someone handles pressure, how they respond to uncertainty, how they carry themselves when no one is watching. You do not need to prove it. People feel it. The fifth rule: control the frame. Every situation has a frame, a way it is perceived, a way it is understood. Most people accept the frame given to them, but those with awareness reshape it. And the person who controls the frame often controls the outcome. The sixth rule: consistency builds power, not intensity. Not short bursts of effort, but steady, consistent action. Small moves, repeated daily, create momentum. Momentum creates presence, and presence creates influence. The final rule: awareness is a choice, but awareness requires effort. It requires observation, reflection, adjustment. It requires you to question what others accept. And once you start seeing clearly, you cannot go back, because you begin to notice patterns. You begin to understand behavior. You begin to move differently. So the real question is, will you continue moving without awareness? Or will you develop the unseen advantage? Because, in the end, success is not always about doing more. It is about seeing more. And those who see more control more. And if you made it this far, like, share, and subscribe for more.